here. This is Killer Kyle. And welcome to WHEELZ of Fury, and this is Killer Kyle. Almost forgot. It's been a while. Sorry,
it's been a minute.
Yeah, man. So, Bound for Glory is next weekend, so I thought. And there's been reviews on it so far.
Yeah.
But it's the 10th anniversary of 10-10-10, Bound for Glory.
Yeah, I remember this night quite well. The match that I have seen and remember the most from that particular night is at least the lockdown match, but we'll get to that when it comes up. And yeah, this is probably one of those nights that a lot of people have remembered for a long time because of one very specific thing that happened on this particular occasion, but we'll get to that in a hot minute.
I mean, I wasn't that huge into TNA. I mean, I did watch it, not too much though, but I knew what was going on, and at the time, you had guys like Ric Flair, Jeff Hardy, some other people coming into the show, and you had the kind of rebirth of the ECW originals and Mick Foley and Sabu, Tommy Dreamer, and it was like
Raven,
yeah. So it was like, okay, I mean, that was pretty cool, but other than that, it just wasn't, and I've always said this, but it was WCW light. And we'll get to that when we get to that. But it was one of those things where I don't know if I was happy with the product. And it was just like, I know it was an alternative to WWE at the time. But there were some things that really should have never happened. And I understand putting the young talent over, the old guy putting the young talent over. But we all know about Kevin Nash, and we all know about Scott Hall, and we all know that a lot of these people probably shouldn't have stepped foot in the ring in 2010. In my opinion, I don't know.
I think if they could still do it, they still could.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're getting a decent paycheck, they would do it.
No, that's true. That's true, yeah.
I mean, you can argue and say, oh, they didn't need to do it. You know, they got lots of money, they could retire, they can live a happy life outside the ring, and it's true, they could have. But as far as I'm concerned, when you still have the capability to do it, and you still want to do it, and you're still able to do it, why not do it?
No, that's true as well. I mean, look at Terry Funk. The man fucking wrestles still, and he's almost 80, so it's kind of, you know, one of those things that if you feel like you can still do it, then fucking do it. But when I look at guys like Hogan and Flair, who are damn near in their late 50s, going on 60, and they look like dough, then it was almost like, why am I watching this? But that's me, you know. There's a lot of things that I didn't like, but I'm not saying nobody else did, so.
Yeah, I mean, as far as Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan is concerned, yeah, the one match that they had against each other in TNA was like, maybe that's one of the few instances where it's like, yeah, you shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
I mean, did they want to do it? Yes. Could they do it? Yes. Were they able to do it? Yes. Was it a good match? Not really.
No. No, I thought it was the shits. I mean, I watched a few minutes of it and was like, oh, look at that blubber fly. But, I mean, you got guys like Mick Foley that still could do a hardcore match or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
You know, as we'll see, Monsters Ball match.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's going to be cool to talk about as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you still have guys today that actually jump ship over to WWE. I mean, you got AJ Styles and, you know, Jeff Hardy, who, you know, when you think about it, spent a lot more time in TNA than he did in WWE.
Sure.
So you have that, and Brian Kendrick, I'm not sure if he's still on 205. I don't know why that still exists, but...
yeah.
So, I mean, it's pretty fucking cool to watch these guys still going at it now. And there's a rumor that Rob Van Dam is going back to WWE. Okay.
Yeah.
So, we'll see how that goes.
Not necessarily that he needs to, but I mean...
No.
Although he probably might not be too happy with what they got him doing in TNA right now. I mean, yeah, he's with his wife, which is great. And they've got him as this love-drunk asshole, basically. And he's still putting out fairly good matches, but I mean...
Yeah.
There is a lot more potential that, as far as I'm concerned, is being wasted as far as Rob's concerned.
Yeah. No, I think so. It doesn't look like he's comfortable doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice to see him actually have a personality, but it just doesn't look like him.
Yeah, it doesn't suit him.
No.
You want to make him a heel, fine, but, you know, do it to an extent that the person's comfortable with.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, well, here we
go. So up first, we got a tag team title match for the TNA World Tag Team titles. The Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin against well, team that's now being called the Young Bucks, but at this point when they did wrestle in TNA, it was Generation Me, Nick and Matt, or in this case Jeremy and Max Buck.
Well, what I thought was pretty cool, and probably just me, but you look at, in this case, Jeremy and Max, and then you got Nick and Matt. It's like, oh, my brother's name is Jeremy, and I'm Matt, obviously.
Yeah.
It doesn't make too much of a difference, but anyway. This was a good match, and I mean, you look at where the Young Bucks are now, you know, these guys were still trying to figure out who they were, and I'm sure it kind of reminded me of what the Hardy Boys used to wear.
Yeah.
But they still had the really good high-flying moves that they still do.
Mm-hmm.
And they haven't lost a step. I mean, you
No.
look at the Young Bucks, you look at the Machine Guns as well. And Alex Shelley, I can't remember what if it was he had Matt in like the DDT, and then he was doing something to Nick. I can't remember. It was a double move anyway.
Yeah, it was like a DDT and like a flatliner.
Something like that. So that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Young Bucks actually lost this match.
Mm-hmm.
And Motor City Machine Guns retained. So, and it's funny to see now that in 2020, 10 years later, the Motor City Machine Guns still have the titles.
Yeah, Motor City Machine Guns made a return to Impact Wrestling a couple months ago, faced the North for the tag team titles, won the tag team titles from them, and it's like, wow. Then, of course, Young Bucks or Generation Me are in AEW right now
Yeah.
as
So-
these cocky, arrogant young punks.
Yeah, talk about a storyline that doesn't seem like they're comfortable with. I don't even know, but it's out of their character. Now go on to this match. We've got the Knockouts 4-corner match. We've got Tara, who came in on a motorcycle, versus Angelina Love, versus Madison Rain, versus Velvet Sky. This was an okay match.
Yeah.
When I first saw Tara, I thought, oh my god, is that Victoria? I haven't seen her in fucking forever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, well, since she was in WWE, so. Yeah, she was still a pretty good wrestler. I liked Angelina Love as well. I didn't really get the whole fucking vampire gimmick that she had, or zombie gimmick, whatever. I don't even know. But this was a good match too, and I mean, out of all of them, actually, Madison Rain is the one that's still on Impact. In Tara, I'm not sure where she is, but
Tara, I believe, retired.
And Angelina Love and Velvet Sky are on Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Speaking of Tara, she did win the Knockouts Championship, so
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty cool.
To a tag team match. This one was really weird. You got the team of Ink and Jesse Neal and Shannon Moore against Eric Young and Orlando Jordan.
Yeah.
Now this was in a period of time where, of course, Orlando Jordan had left WWE. He'd gone to TNA, and he was experimenting with a character that was very emulative of a Gorgeous George, or Adrian Adonis,
Yeah.
or Adrian Street. Very flamboyant, very over the top, very risque, if you will.
Yeah.
And it worked for what it was. He didn't really go for very long in TNA, but I don't think that's really an issue with the character
Mhm.
or an issue with caliber performer Orlando Jordan was and is, you could say.
Yeah.
It was just, I don't really think it got over that well.
Well, when you look at what, so Joey Ryan is gay in real life, but when you watch him wrestle, it doesn't seem like he's very flamboyant. Yeah, he has the hairy chest and he likes to put people's hands down his cock, but other than that, oh no, he has a sucker.
Yeah.
So Orlando Jordan is bisexual, and for some reason, I don't know if this was his idea or Bischoff's idea, but it was almost like, okay, you're gonna grow your hair out, you're gonna get makeup on, and you're gonna be all flamboyant and shit. When he was in WWE, he didn't really have that. He had the cabinet gimmick with the JBL thing, and so, yeah, this was different, obviously, and I think he carried it on through his career, but, you have to mention Eric Young, but, another guy that's back in TNA. This was a good match, and of course, you had Eric Young turn on Jordan.
Yeah, you have Eric Young beat up Orlando Jordan. Ink gets the win. Eric's raising the hand of them, and then he goes over and he hugs Orlando Jordan. When you look at it, it honestly looked like he's going to give him a belly-to-belly suplex.
Yeah.
Just the way he grabbed a hold of him. When you say Joey Ryan's gay in real life, I saw an interview that he did. I think it was on Around the Ring, maybe? Or something like that. And he was talking about how this character that he has, you know, it's very outgoing, very over the top. People are, you know, he's putting people's hands on his crotch and, you know, flexing and, you know, flipping people over and all this other stuff. But in real life, he's a total introvert. He's not like that at all.
Okay.
He's very kind of laid back, chill, relaxed. Not that
Yeah.
over the top character that we all see. Now, of course, he had this character for many years, from basically his first go around at TNA to independent scene and, you know, a wide variety of promotions. And then when he came back to TNA, they completely switched his character.
Yeah.
You know, Joseph Ryan, and he's this anti, I don't even know what you call it. He's got a freaking iPad, and, you know, he wears glasses.
He's a hipster.
More or less.
Yeah.
And I mean, for what it was worth, it worked, but, you know, again, it only went so far before he decided he was going to part ways, and who knows what he's doing right now,
Yeah.
where he is. So.
And we also talked about a few times the match with him and Candice LeRae versus the Young Bucks. Fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, there it is. Sure. TNA X Division match. We got Jay Lethal versus Douglas Williams.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot about Douglas Williams
Yeah.
when I saw the review. I think it was Brian Zane for Wrestling with Regret. But, yeah. He was an interesting character.
Yes.
I think he teamed with Magnus at some point.
Yes, it was Doug Williams, Magnus, and Rob Terry as the British Invasion.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Was Nigel McGuinness a part of that?
No.
Or Desmond Wolfe? No?
No. He did his own thing.
Yeah. But this was a pretty good match, too, actually.
Yeah.
And when you watch the Ring of Honor, I know that we're talking about other promotions, but watching the Ring of Honor Pure Tournament and how good Jay Lethal's doing. And
Oh, yeah.
quite possibly, in the future, when this is all over, he may be the first two-time Pure champion.
Potentially, yes.
If he does win.
Mhm.
So, I mean, last week, he won the match, and Josh Gresham won the match.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be neat to see what happens with those two. Now they're going to face the other people on the B side or whatever they called it.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows?
Yeah.
But this was a good match. Jay Lethal have retained. So pretty cool.
The aforementioned Monsters Ball match with the Monster Abyss and Rob Van Dam.
Yep. That's
Whole fucking show.
hell yeah. And this is exactly what you would expect in a fucking Monsters Ball. I mean, you look at what these two, no, you look at what Rob Van Dam did at WCW, you know, and then of course you've got Abyss, who fucking, you know, he did the Monsters Ball thing in TNA, but he also did a few hardcore matches, if you will, in Ring of Honor and elsewhere. But these two guys whipped the piss out of each other. And, you know, it went how you would have expected. And, you know, eventually Rob Van Dam used Janice against Abyss, which, you know, when you look at when we talk about a few years ago with Dean Ambrose and Blanche and the New Day with Francesca, and it's like,
Yeah.
Abyss had fucking...
Janice.
So it's like, if he ever came out with that character on SmackDown, or I guess it's gonna be Raw now. Fuck, would he bring back Janice? That would be awesome.
Yeah, really, that'd be interesting. Yeah, this match was what you would expect out of a Monsters Ball match. Vicious, brutal, violent, chairs, Janice, trash cans, extra trash can lids, tables, barbed wire, planks, boards, whatever.
Oh,
The
yeah.
whole 9 yards.
Yeah, Rob Van Dam won.
Mm-hmm.
So, we now move on to a 3-on-2 handicap match, which I thought was the shits.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the ending was anyways. You've
Yeah.
got the band with D'Angelo, De Niro, Kevin Nash, and Sting.
Jeff Jarrett, Samoa Joe.
Yeah, so... Oh, boy.
Yeah, you have the match go on, and Jarrett and Joe are getting in some stuff on De Niro and Nash and Sting, and things are going along great, and for quite a lengthy period of time, Joe was in the ring, and when he was able to finally go for a tag to Jarrett, Jarrett drops down off the apron and walks off.
What a motherfucker. Like, I mean, come on. Like, I know Jeff Jarrett's at peace now, but wow.
Mm.
I would have, like, I didn't watch the show. I obviously would have been pissed off if I saw that.
Mm.
I know a few people that don't like him, but yeah, that was just stupid. And, what a way to bury Samoa Joe, in my opinion. The guy should have had won that match. I mean, he had a great career in TNA.
Oh yeah,
Unfortunately, I wish I could say the same in WWE, but he might be injured right now. That's why he's behind the desk.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But yeah, it was just a disappointment.
Yeah. And okay, Nash and Sting, they've known each other for probably a good 20 years or so.
At that time, yeah.
Throughout time in WCW and various other promotions, I'm sure, mainly WCW. D'Angelo De Niro or Elijah Burke,
Yeah.
not sure where he fit in, really. I mean, maybe De Niro was replacing Scott Hall, who the hell knows? But, yeah. He's a very talented guy, very talented performer, talented wrestler, very good on the microphone. It just, okay, you've got two established veterans in Kevin Nash and Sting, which is great, to work off of and get advice from and all this other stuff. But as far as, the band is concerned,
That's a weird name.
not sure where the fit is.
Yeah. I don't know where people get these names too. The band. Hey, they should have had the band come reunite and face the club in 2016.
Yeah, really.
But I don't.
To the match that I talked about, the Lethal Lockdown match, the team of EV2, Raven, Rhino, Sabu, Stevie Richards, and Tommy Dreamer, with McFoley against Fortune, the team of AJ Styles, James Storm, Kazarian, Matt Morgan, and Robert Roode, with Ric Flair.
Yeah.
I have seen this match quite a few times on TNA Wrestling's Greatest Matches or whatever. It's highly regarded match, I believe, in the sense of you've got these hardcore wrestlers, basically, in Raven, Rhino, Sabu, Stevie Richards, Tommy Dreamer, McFoley, and then the upper class, big main eventers, big money makers, and Storm, Rude, Kazarian, AJ,
Yeah.
maybe Matt Morgan, I guess. And of course, Ric Flair, styling, profiling, wheeling, dealing, son of a gun. The difference of opinion and how opposite they were is what made it such a good match.
Yeah.
And, basically, Fortune wasn't wanting EV2 in TNA. Basically, EV2 had to prove themselves, and it ultimately culminated in this Lethal Lockdown match. Now, at one point in the match, on top of the cage, you had Brian Kendrick get involved, and at this point, he was this hipster,
Yeah.
grounded to Mother Earth, and sit in the corner and he'd meditate
Yeah.
before the match and all this other stuff. There was AJ Styles and I'll say Robert Roode or Rhino or Sabu or something on the top of the cage. And then here's Brian Kendrick dressed all in white,
Yeah.
and he beats up AJ and puts him through a table and what have you. And the funny thing about this match, at the beginning, you have Fortune come out, and then you have EV2 come out, and immediately, the match hasn't even started yet, here's Ric Flair and Mick Foley throwing bombs at each other, coming to blows, and it's okay, yeah,
These two hated the fuck out of each other.
Yeah, massively.
Just they had a feud in WWE for a while, and then it came to them having a feud in TNA, and it all had to do, and maybe it didn't, but the whole thing with Mick Foley losing his ear, part of his ear in Germany,
Right.
and Ric Flair not putting it on ice,
Mhm.
and so that escalated and whatever. So they had a good war of words in one segment on Impact.
Yeah.
But yeah, this match, it was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And I really enjoyed the revamp of ECW in a way.
Mhm.
See Sabu and Tommy Dreamer and Mick Foley and Stevie Richards coming back, and that was really cool. Rhino and Scott Levy as Raven, just very, very cool to see this. Maybe it wasn't great at the time, who knows, but I really enjoyed it, and these guys too, and a lot of them have still wrestled all over the place, and they're still wrestling. AJ Styles, we mentioned, in WWE. WWE champion, Intercontinental champion, fucking
Rhinos and
Rhinos and TNA.
yeah.
Still, Robert Roode is in WWE.
Yeah.
Proud Peterborough boy.
Mhm.
I'm not from Peterborough, but I don't care.
Yeah.
This is where we are.
Yeah.
So he represents our city.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Morgan is the mayor of whatever city it is.
Yeah.
Kazarian, obviously, in AEW as SCU.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where the fuck James Storm went, because I know that MWA went out of action.
Yeah.
So there was a rumor that Bobby Roode is going to bring him back to WWE, and if they do that, that would be epic.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Except they probably have to change their name.
Mm.
Soda Money.
Yeah. Tommy Dreamer's in Impact right now. He doesn't do a whole lot of matches now.
Yeah.
I think he's more probably interested in helping the young talent, or be a mentor and a producer or talent scout or agent, whatever the case may be. But he's with Impact as well.
Yes.
You know, Ric Flair, we know, is retired. Mick Foley basically is retired as well.
Yeah.
Sabu, he did a little bit in Impact. It was him and this Genie for a little bit.
Yeah.
Stevie Richards. Well, there was that one point where he was, Dr. Stevie and trying to help Abyss not be as violent or, be afraid to use weapons or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
When Abyss got out of mental institution, who knows what he's up to nowadays. And yeah, that pretty much covers everyone.
Yeah, and then of course EV2. You've got Jeff Hardy versus Kurt Angle versus Mr. Anderson. I thought you were gonna Anderson.
That failed.
Foul. No, really, I thought you were gonna say something, and then I was gonna. Anyways, never mind. Anyway, yeah. So, and this match was also. I don't understand why they did this. Like, you have Hogan. Hogan comes in, and Flair comes in, and Bischoff comes in, and then you have this thing where you have Jeff Hardy, and he's whipping everyone's ass in this match. It's great. It's fucking awesome. And it really pisses me off because Jeff Hardy was made a heel. Yes, he won this match. He became a champion because of Hogan. And now he's in whatever the fuck that team was. Because I'll tell you what. Because Jeff Hardy had the shittiest career in TNA. I didn't like it. I thought it was stupid. You have him carrying 2 belts. One designed for him and won the TNA championship. That was fucking stupid. You have him as a stupid fucking Willow character. I'm glad he never used in WWE. You have everything that he should have been, but he wasn't, because, hey, they wanted him to go to rehab, but this ain't no. And then he pulls shit, the Sting. And he gets drugged up or whatever. Kurt Angle, there is a story for you. Yeah, I actually agree. He had a better TNA run than he did in WWE at that time. But of course, he had his troubles too. He had his troubles as well. And then of course you got Mr. Kennedy. Ken Kennedy is the biggest tragedy of all because, yeah, he had a better career in TNA, what he should have had in WWE. But fuck you, Randy Orton, because you fucked him over. He could have been WWE champion, but we had to have Ken Anderson go to TNA because he made a big boo-boo on Randy Orton. So the fact of the matter is that this match, I didn't like it. I really, really didn't like it. I didn't like the way it ended. I didn't like Jeff Hardy's heel run in TNA. This whole thing was stupid, and there's a lot worse out there, but this was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And then you have Hogan, and I've already shit on Hogan a bunch. But the fact is, you have Hulk Hogan, who comes in, and he's talking like he does in WWE, brother. And then when he turns heel, he goes right back to the WCW days. And then it's all about Hogan. Then he had him feud with Bubba Ray Dudley. But I will admit, Bubba got over.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't care about this main event. But that's my opinion. That's just me.
Yeah. Having Jeff Hardy turn heel is like, wow, okay. You got a guy that has been face for many, many years, and you decide to turn him heel, which is okay, but it never went anywhere. Didn't make much sense. Didn't really do him any good. And it's a blessing that he is back in WWE now. You know,
And he's sober.
he's sober, and he, you know, still off and running, still doing great things. You know, was the Intercontinental Champion, then, you know, you got Sami Zayn as the Intercontinental Champion now, but whatever. Yeah. Kurt Angle and Mr. Anderson, they basically got royally screwed.
Yeah. It's such a shame because I think that Ken Anderson could have went somewhere in WWE. I really do. Yeah, he did a good job in TNA. He was the Impact Champion. And I don't know if he ever held anything else. I can't remember at the moment.
Mm.
And yes, he was an Army guy. So I think that would, you know, I would have given plenty points to McMahon, but, you know, whatever. It's just a shame. And to have Kurt Angle, who did have issues in 2009, and then elsewhere. But it just, I don't know, I saw a lot of potential that could have been in WWE. And for Jeff, him turning heel wasn't the worst thing, but why do it?
I think when they turned Jeff heel, yeah, he did it, but I don't think his heart was in it.
No, not at all.
His heart wasn't in it, and he was still pretty drugged out of his mind. So if he had been sober at that point in time,
Yeah.
and his heart was in it, maybe it would have went better. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it could have been a lot better.
Yeah. I mean, look at AJ Styles and Fortune, and here's a guy who's rugged, you know, manly man from Georgia, and he, at the time, being in Fortune, was wearing a Ric Flair robe
Yeah.
and earrings, and I don't think he felt comfortable in that. But, you know, you gotta do things out of your comfort zone, so,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. So that is our look back at Bound for Glory 2010.
Hell yeah.
All in all, the show wasn't too bad.
No.
I mean, not really a good way to end your pay-per-view, although there have been some really not really bad endings to some pay-per-views.
Oh yeah.
Clash of Champions this year.
Classic Champions this year. Well, you didn't like it. I didn't mind it. I mean, it wasn't the greatest again, but Halloween Havoc 98 or 96, whichever the one Piper came on at the end.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this was a good pay-per-view. We have a lot of episodes lined up. Next week's obviously Bound for Glory. You have the week after that, and speaking of Halloween Havoc, NXT Halloween Havoc.
Yep.
And you have Hell in a Cell. I think it was on the same weekend.
Yeah. Bound for Glory and Hell in a Cell are the same weekend. Much like Victory Road and NXT TakeOver 31 were the same weekend.
So we're gonna have to watch South Park. Now we are doing the first time ever Wheels of Fury look back at a movie, and we put a poll up on Facebook, and we're gonna be doing South Park Bigger, Badder, Better, and
In about 3 weeks' time.
I'll have to watch that again.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. I'm sure you've seen it a bunch. So, yeah. Anyways, for Killer Kyle, I mean Matt, and we will see you next time. Deuces.